Hi, this is Martin at Revelation Software, and I've got a little bit of a teaser for 9.2 for you today. There's a lot of good stuff coming in 9.2. We already know about O4W, which is a web technology, enables you to build Web 2 database-driven solutions for the web based on OpenInsight's linear hash data, and you can create applications with very little coding. Really nice bit of kit. I've been playing around with it just recently. And also the SQL connector. And the SQL connector will enable you to use OpenInsight as a backend to a SQL database. Again, very quick, very easy to put together, and something that a lot of our users have been asking for. Now, I'm not going to do any videos about that right now because I'm going to the conference in a few weeks' time, and those two will be headline topics. So I'm hoping to learn a lot more than I know now about those topics. And I would say that if you can get to the conference, please go, because you'll get a lot more information from those events than I will be able to show in the videos when I come back. I am planning on doing some videos, but they're really just going to be of the quick start guides. But today I want to show you some functionality that's coming in TCL. So if I just do F5 to launch the TCL. Now, the first few things I want to look at are some soft keys for AREV. These have been introduced for our advanced revelation clients, particularly AREV32. These are useful soft keys that were lost some time ago. And the first is Shift F1. Now, I don't know AREV very well. I've played with it a little, but not very much at all. So much of what I'm doing here I don't really fully understand. But this is the ability to make a list statement. Now, I've already created one previously, so I can bring that up. And this is a list command that I'd saved. TCL select 10 sysrepos wins and list that. If I click OK, then I can run that, and it will produce the report for me. Now, creating that is super easy. You just click on the first line here. It needs to be TCL because obviously we want to be calling that. And then we can double click, and that will give you the last number of commands that you ran from TCL. So I can say here, select 10 sysrepos wins, and clicking the next one, double clicking it, I'll list those. And then what I can do is just go away and check the syntax to make sure that that's right, and then I can save that. I won't run it now. So that's make voc. If I come out of there. Something else that they've added in is Shift F4. Now Shift F4 will list all of the attached tables for you, and you can obviously print those from there. Shift F5 lists the volumes. Shift F6 lists the available TCL commands. So this is basically running the assistant. So it's the same as running the assistant here, and I can go in and I can say list all invoices, and you can basically build up a list statement in there. I'm not going to do that right now. And then Control F10, and Control F10 is the query table, which is a list that stores the last 50 select statements and their results run by the system from the TCL on a particular workstation. Pressing Control F10 from TCL will provide a list of the past queries, the time, the date the query was run, and the number of results returned from the query. Choosing an item from the pop-up will return the results in the active list. So that's one I did previously, and I've just got 10 records selected there. Okay, so that's the AREV commands, but one of the really nice things that Revelation have introduced in here is the ability to run a command. Now I'll choose this one here. This is I'm listing the invoices from the examples database. List invoices with customer number, customer name, invoice date, items, and the descriptions. Now, many of you will be used to putting bracket or parenthesis P in to send this to a printer, or to S for screen, I think it is. But there's a new switch called G, and G is going to send the output to a grid. And this has reproduced that little list statement in this grid. Now I can print that to the printer that I've got set up on my machine. I could send it to a CSV export. But one of the nice things in here is I can move this data around. Now I can't in this version, but in a future one you'll be able to drag and drop these around. But what I can do is select a column, so let's say the customer name. I can right mouse click and I can cut this column, and then I can select another location to paste it and paste the column in. So you can see I've now got my customer name in a different area than I had before. So one of the really nice things in here is you can manipulate the data so that you can see exactly what you want to see. So it might be that I don't want to have ham and cheese in there, so I'll take that out. I might want to change the order in some way, but I can change the data around, and then what I can do is I can right mouse click and I can copy the selected data to the clipboard, copy the row to the clipboard, save the column to the clipboard, and a few other bits and pieces. Now if I've moved the data around, so let's say I've deleted these two and I've done that by accident, I can hit the reset button and it will take me right the way back to where we started. Now let me just run up Excel for the moment, go back to here. Now some of the things that we can do here, we can select a row and then we can copy that selected data to our clipboard. It tells me the clipboard's been updated, and I can simply paste that into Excel. Just make this column a little wider. I can select multiple rows and do the same thing, and I'll paste that in just below there, so I've got my multiple rows of data. Let's unselect these for the moment. I can copy that row to the clipboard and paste that into there. I can save the column to the clipboard. So if I'm on the column of descriptions, for instance, and I save the column to the clipboard, and then we come over here and I can paste, I can just get that single column produced there. And you saw earlier on that I cut it and pasted the column. So those tend to be the main options that you can do here. But what I really like about this is I can now produce a subset of data using my list command. I can then manipulate that data in different ways, move the columns around, remove some data that I don't particularly want, and then I can either produce that as a printed document to give to somebody, or I can drop it into Excel. So for instance, I might want to put together a stock check report, and I can remove certain items that I don't want to be stock checked, or I could drop it into Excel and I can play around with the data once it's in there. So I think that this is a really nice little feature of TCL that will be good for end users at all different levels. So that's something that's coming in 9.2. We are hoping to have the beta out around about the 1st of April. That's what we're shooting for at the moment. And then the commercial release around or shortly after the conference, obviously depending how the beta goes. I'm using the alpha software at the moment and it's looking really nice, so I'm very excited about 9.2. And if I find out anything else that I can share with you, then I will do so. Thanks so much for your time today. Bye bye.